Welcome to Mrs. Grieser's geometry class. We're going to have an awesome year. Let's start with supplies. You will need a 3-ring binder at least 2 inches big with lots of loose leaf paper. You will use all that space. I recommend at least 4 dividers, one for class notes, homework, quizzes and tests, and finally a catch-all. I called it miscellaneous. You can just call it other, but just to keep track of all the things you're going to get this year. In addition to that binder, please don't forget your pencils. You can use pens, they're fine. Just please, please, please not red, because that's reserved for me. You will need a compass for one of our units, so it's not needed immediately, but soon. And there's a picture on the lower left there of what a compass is. Very often they come with a protractor. That's optional. You really don't need that. We only use it to draw straight lines, so you do not need a protractor. So in addition to the binder, the pencils, the compass, you have some optional items. If you want a highlighter, it helps you take notes, go ahead, graph paper. That's fine if you like that. The other thing you might want to consider getting is a TI 83 or 84 level graphing calculator. I do have a class set which is available in class, so it's not a must get, but it's a nice to have, and you can use it throughout your high school career and even into college. A TI 83 is more than fine. If you can get them used, they're not too expensive. But again, I do have a class set, so if you don't get one, that's okay too. Earbuds are nice to have also in case there's a video you want to listen to or something like that, so can't hurt to have that in your pencil case. Okay, here are my bag items. If you can, pretty please, box of tissues from every student would be so helpful, especially when cold season hits in or people have allergies. We go through several boxes a week, so I'd appreciate anybody who can donate tissues to the class. The other thing we sometimes run out of are extra pencils. Everybody forgets a pencil every once in a while. I go through many pencils. If we can just have a class set, if everybody brought in 5 or 6 pencils and we just kept them in the room, it would probably do us for the year. So thank you so much for those of you who can bring these things in to share with other classmates. As you all know, this is a high school class, and since you've already been through a high school class with Algebra 1, you know that there is a lot of work and a lot of things we cover in class. So please, please, please come to class. Attendance is super important. Now, if you are absent, and I understand that happens, we get sick, things happen, there is Google Classroom. And everything is on there, all the materials, a video of the lesson, homework, even homework answers. Please, if you are absent and it's not a serious illness or a family emergency, things like that, if you can, go to Google Classroom, stay caught up. You'll be glad you did. Now, if you're absent on a test day, the day we have a test, please be prepared to take that test when you get back to school. So if you have a resource block before you have class with me, expect to take it then. Come see me and I will give it to you. It's very important we get that taken care of right away. I will find you if you don't find me. So please be proactive with that. If you are absent the class before a test, generally speaking, that's our review day. You should already have the study guide. You are expected to take the test as scheduled if you are absent prior to the day that we take the test. If there is some reason why you can't do that, please contact me ahead of time. Otherwise, I assume that you are taking the test that day. Homework. Now, we will have homework nearly every class. I'm sorry, that's just how it works. I think you do need the practice of math to really learn the concepts in geometry. All the homework is posted in Google Classroom, as well as videos of the lesson, as I mentioned. So even if you were there and you need to review something, you can do that there. There's homework that I do expect everybody to at least try. I give answers as well, and obviously the answers are there for checking. I also don't mind if you are really stumped and you look at an answer and work backwards. I mean, that's learning too. But I do expect you to really work these problems and do the best you can with them. I do give a completeness grade, just that you did it. I don't grade based on how you did, but I feel it is vital that you do homework when assigned. I try my best to give what I think is required and not more than that, but still, it will be a bit of work, and thank you in advance for taking it so seriously. So here are some words about grades. We have a formative grade of 10% of what you get on your report card, and that's things like, did you do your homework, little checks along the way. They're only 10%. Now, 90% of your grade are summative assignments, things we know like tests. So when you have a test, you will have one class period to complete it, so you don't get extra time unless there is a specified reason why you should, but generally speaking, you only get that one class period. They are designed to be done in one class period, and you should be able to get them done. I mean, there's usually no problem with that. And I will repeat it because it bears repeating. If you are absent on a test day, the day you come back, if you have resource, please come see me. You will be taking your test. If you have it the next day, then you'll take it then. But be prepared. I will be giving you the test when you return to school. Right, just some general class rules. You've been in school a long time. None of these should be super strange, but here they are, just so we're clear. I do expect everybody to arrive to school on time prior to the bell ringing. You are prepared. You've got all your supplies, your binder, your pencils, homework. Everything is with you. I don't want to be sending you back to your locker to get things. I do expect respectfulness, honesty, tidiness. All those things, we are respectful to each other, to the teacher, to other students, all those important things. I believe this is new this year that you are not traveling with cell phones, so they should be kept in your locker. Now, if I do think you will need them, I will try to tell you ahead of time so you know to bring them. But generally speaking, those should be kept in your locker. When that bell rings, you don't run and leave. It is my job to dismiss you, not the bell. So if we still have like 30 seconds to finish something, I do expect you to sit there. Most important rule, of course, is do not disturb learning, either yours or anybody else's. So if there are outbursts or other things that go on that prevent somebody else from learning or yourself, that is a broken rule. If you are using one of the in-class calculators, one of my calculators, I will give you an assigned one by number, and I'll keep a list of your other calculators. You will always use that calculator, so you are responsible for that one during this class period. When you're finished, always clear it out to leave it fresh for the next person who's using it, and we'll talk about how to do that. There's some keys we all hit, and it clears out the calculator for the next person. Please, no food, no gum, no drink, nothing like that is permitted in this classroom. The exception, I don't mind if you have a bottle of water or something, as long as there is a cap so that it's not just free-flowing water, so that if it falls, we don't have to worry about it getting on equipment. Other than that, unless there is a physical reason, there is no food allowed. Now, please let me know if there is such a thing, a medical reason why you would need that. Otherwise, I'm assuming you don't. If you need to use the restroom or some other break, I do have some class passes that you would take whenever you're traveling in the hall, and there's also a sign-out book. You sign out when you leave, and you sign back in when you return. If you can't do these things, you don't get to leave the classroom. Just a few other things. As I said before, and again, this one's an important one to remind you of, Google Classroom will have everything in there. So it is an expectation that you're using these resources before you come asking questions, especially if you're absent. Don't just show up, I'm absent, I don't know anything, because I'm going to ask you, did you watch the video? So your answer to that needs to be yes, and then you can be very specific about any questions that you have about what you missed. So please don't forget to do that. Another thing I have is I use the Remind app, which is a way for me to text information to you or your parents. So that is an opt-in type of arrangement. So unless you sign up for it, you will not get these texts. And there are directions on how to join. Very simple, but it's on my web page. So just wanted you to know that's there. Okay, wow, that was enough. It was too much. So I'm going to stop talking. You've been students for a long time. Most of you know how to behave, and after we kind of get to know each other a little better after a week or two, all this will be kind of obvious and we'll be fine. Just the last word I want to leave you with is I really hope we have an awesome year. Geometry can be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it.